Oh, sorry. Hello everyone. I think this is the first time, I think ever, that I've started a stream and I feel like I actually end up falling asleep. Fine before starting, but I know part of it maybe I should just get into it because maybe I might wake up later. So rather than spend too much time babbling on, I think we'll just get into the game. I mean, it's pretty much in the title what we're doing. So you need to mess around and I'll see how I get. Because honestly I felt fine before starting, but now I'm not so sure. But we'll see how things go, as they say. Because it has happened before where I feel very tired and suddenly I wake up.
Lesser Lord Kusanali has escaped from the sanctuary of Surasthana. Go to the city and arrest the escapee immediately. How can that be? Stop thinking about it. Stop. It must be a trick of theirs. As long as I personally confirm it. Ah! Impossible. That's impossible. There must be something wrong with my eyes.
What a comical sight, Azar.
Ooh,
Once the
get
Akasha has put certain thoughts into your head, even the Grand Sage can no longer see what's right in front of him. You all can only see the world in your mind, the one you think you know. And precisely because of this, you disregarded Lesser Lord Kusanali's existence. She has been a wise and worthy Archon.
Sino, have you been waiting for a chance like this? The Akasha predicted that you would return to the Academia to confront me, but I didn't expect it to turn out like this. I was careless.
No, you were blinded. Your faults stem from your reliance on the Akasha. You're still the same as always.
I truly did not expect a proud person like you to cooperate with Alhaitham and the Traveler.
People change, Azar. Admit it. The Akasha can't predict my actions anymore.
Then tell me, what have you found during your investigation?
You want to buy time? This is the sanctuary of Surasthana. Under your own regulations, even Academia staff are forbidden to come here. No one will come to save you. As for the investigation, I've at least confirmed that you are guilty of insurgency against the Archon. A serious crime.
So what? Did you do all of this so I would plead guilty in front of you, General Mahamatra?
No, he's gonna drop kick you. It'd be funny to Sarge drop kicks him.
No. I want you to plead guilty in front of the Archon herself. You once said that I had no standing to judge you. So now, how about judgment in the name of a god?
Oh.
How long do we have to wait? Paimon wants to know how things are going out there. Paimon hasn't heard any sounds outside for a while. Hopefully something bad didn't happen.
Don't think like that.
Yeah, but Aren't you scared that we might be locked up in here for the rest of our lives? Thinking about it, at least Paimon has you. We could still chat like this. When Paimon thinks of Nahida being imprisoned alone in the sanctuary of Surasthana, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for her.
Try and say serious or starlets. This is what I couldn't even say it properly. So try and say that several times fast.
Here comes your savior.
Yes, please.
Dia! Paimon just knew you would come to rescue us!
Ow.
You two really owe me some big thanks. I had to search through who knows how many guards to find the key here. It felt even more tiring than whacking them. I'm exhausted.
Thanks a lot. Need Paimon to rub your shoulders?
Little tiny little hands?
No, that's, I'll pass.
What are you afraid of? Oh, are you ticklish?
Now isn't the time to talk about being ticklish.
How are things going outside?
Things in the city and on Sino's side are both going well. The guards that stormed out of the academia are all taken care of. The Corps of 30 is in charge of the city's defenses, but we already talked to Asfand. They've been fed up with the sages bossing them around. As long as it doesn't break their employment contracts, they'll turn a blind eye.
That's probably because you've been super great friends with them for a long time. So, how's Sino doing?
The Grand Sage is in his custody. Even I know how terrible it is to fall into Sino's hands, so he probably does too. Sino forced him to release Lesser Lord Kusanali. He has no choice but to obey. So, hurry to the sanctuary of Surasthana. Assuming nothing weird happened, we should have already rescued our Archon.
I hope so.
Honestly, I didn't expect our ragtag bunch to do this well. We just came together last minute to save the Archon, you know? Alright, you two better go. I still have to clean up some messes in the city. See you around.
Oh wait, we're actually back in control. I'm glad I did leave it to today to do it. Okay. Oh, there's even new event stuff. I'll probably do that in my own spare time. But now let's stick to the path at hand, as they say. What can I? Yes, I can. I knew it was a flash out point. Wait, that was what? Idiot. Give a hug now.
They say it's nice to meet you. This is the first time we've met in real life. Before, we've only met in dreams, consciousness, or when I was in someone else's body.
We finally meet Nahida.
Thank you so much for coming to rescue me, but I also need to apologize. During this time, I did some self-reflection. My sense of inferiority and yielding to the academia led to all of this, and created so much trouble for you all.
Don't worry about it. You also helped us a lot.
Exactly! We're here because you're a good Archon and one of our friends!
Aww.
Thanks, you too. Amazing. So this is how it feels to walk out of that cage with my own body. It's like I just had an endlessly long dream. I can't even tell if I just woke up or was only now born into this world.
That's how I feel right now.
My concept of self has become so clear. But now doesn't seem to be the time to indulge in this feeling. This is really embarrassing. You all just rescued an Archon, and now she needs your help to save her country, and even the entire world.
The world.
It's okay. With you here, Paimon's sure that everything will work out. There's one more thing. What is it? For all the things the Academia did to me, and for all the folly it committed in the name of wisdom, as their Archon, I will make them pay.
Ooh.
Ah! Wow! That's the spirit! You're finally standing up for yourself and not letting people walk all over you! I understand now. To be a better Archon, I first need to better myself. If you haven't even figured out how to be a caterpillar, how can you be a butterfly?
Uh-huh. No.
Yes, true. That reminds me. I wonder how far along the Academia is with their God creation plan. We need to hurry and prevent the birth of that false god. I need to make some preparations. Since I'm now free, I can establish a direct link to the Akasha and control it. First things first, I need to remove the restrictions that the doctor put on me in the Akasha. After that, I'll make some adjustments and revoke the sage's permissions. The Akasha will then be like how it originally was, only operable by the Archon. After all, the Academia betrayed Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's trust. This might take some time. In the meantime, you should also work on your own preparations. If we don't stop the God creation plan in time, we'll be in for a tough fight.
We still will be here if we do.
Might as well prepare for a fight. When we're done, we can take a walk around. After all, we missed out on a lot of stuff when we were locked up.
Everything I'm going to be doing is going here. I think we'd rather had some primo gems and we'll fast forward time. I think if this does end up being short, like about an hour, I will actually stop, because the plan was originally today was to also do Nihida's story quest, but my energy feels today. I don't think I'll have energy to do both of that.
How's it going, Nahida?
How's it going?
I'm done with the parts that needed my involvement to complete. Although it's my first time working with the Akasha like this, its internal structure and operation procedures are easy for me to understand. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's design is truly brilliant. Oh, also, this is for you.
Oh, hello, little friend.
Huh? What's this little floaty thingy?
It's adorable. Love a plushie of it.
It's a small device I put together just now. You can think of it as an upgraded Akasha terminal.
Can I hug it?
You may not need it right now, but it should be helpful in certain situations.
Like?
Wait! This thing has the same characteristics as Paimon! We're both small things that float! All the things that make Paimon special got copied! When Paimon appears with the Traveler from now on, people won't remember Paimon because she isn't unique anymore!
Are you you actually upset?
It's alright, Paimon. It can't replace you. It's only a flying device, but you're the Traveler's irreplaceable friend.
Oh.
You're so good at comforting people, Nahida. If only the Traveler was as smart as you.
What are you getting at? Well, I'm pretty stupid.
I was simply telling you what I feel to be the truth. I wasn't trying to comfort you.
Nahida, you're natural at this. What you just said made Paimon even happier.
By the way, there's something I need to confess.
That is?
Even though I'm the Archon and in control of myself again, I'm not very good at fighting. You may have heard that an Archon's power is derived from their people's faith. However, I'm not as well loved as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. If we get into a situation where combat is our only option, I'll have to count on you, and I'll do my best to provide support.
Don't worry.
I'm glad I can rely on you.
So the God of Wisdom isn't good at fighting? That actually sounds about right.
We getting that nerds can't fight? Is that that's what we're going with this?
I've located where the false god is. Time is of the essence, so let's skip to it.
Is it going to literally transport us there? No. I love the music in this area. I mean, she said skip to it, but I want to explore. It's so cool looking. Now I'm in the cage. I guess in another room that's in here. Oh, it's it's time for the bus fight. Just as before. I just realised, since the Balladeer is technically the Raiden Shogun's or E's son, it's funny that I have the Raiden Shogun in my party.
What is this place? Is this really the way we need to go? Wow. Who would have thought there'd be a place like this hidden right slap bang in the middle of the city?
That's always the case.
The sages wanted to realize their god creation plan without being discovered. The safest and most convenient way would be to build within the academia itself.
Right under everyone's noses.
That's true. They were already hiding one god, so why not two?
Judging from the structure here, the project is a huge undertaking. The sages really saw
it's
the
underground.
God creation plan as their ultimate goal. But this place doesn't look like it could have been constructed by the academia alone.
The Fatui.
The Fatui under the Doctor sure didn't hold back. They provided a lot of technological support.
It's to help one or of their own harbingers become a god after all.
Yeah, or else they wouldn't have been that generous.
Is that it though? I've always felt that this Doctor is different from the academia sages. He doesn't seem to share their sense of urgency. Instead of being interested in the end product, it's like he's enjoying the experimental process.
The Fatui Harbingers are all such weirdos. So, the Doctor being weird is actually normal.
So, this Fatui that they're trying to turn into a god is called the Balladeer? We had previously come into contact with his consciousness. He harbors particularly strong obsessions. One is the desire for a gnosis, since he was created to be the vessel for one. The other obsession is probably related to his past. I can't quite explain it.
Paimon knows that he was a prototype puppet for the Raiden Shogun before he became a Fatui Harbinger. That's why he wants a gnosis so badly. There's no way he'd willingly be a test subject. Now with that temper and ego of his.
So it's got mummy issues.
It sounds like you know the Balladeer quite well.
we've had a few encounters.
I see. Tell me more about him and what he's like. The more we know now, the better we can plan for and react to any future situation.
Tell me everything you know about the Balladeer.
Ah, I see. How fascinating. Alright, time to go. Let's get through here and meet him in person.
And kick his ass. What's down there though? Nothingness. Oh, since VTubers want to get their patooties kicked. That was actually a good one, yeah.
There is no escape. Ha!
But while I'm attacking this, I want to attack the water dude. I forget this asshole kills people.
Scatter!
I don't know why it's not used.
Time to fulfill my mission. My work.
There we go. There we go, I wanted to bring the heat.
Scatter!
Quite hammer time, my friends. The hell was the hell? A lot more than usual.
Let's end this quickly.
Well, it's not. It's going to be dragged out my face, my friend. Got him.
I'll protect us.
Damn him. Oh, no, got him. Got him good.
Scatter! Let's end this quickly.
Well, it's not, I'm afraid. Just said that. There we go.
I guess this is it.
Ooh. I love this like kind of like steampunky look this area's got. Is it like a hint of what Schneider's going to look
It
like?
looks like we can climb up these pipes.
Ah, it does. Ah, another door. Probably with some more for toys. Oh no, it's not. It's the final showdown. Is this where the Balladeer is? Let's go up there. Oh no, it's the door that leads down.
The pattern on the ground seems all messed up. Let's go around and see if there's a way to fix it.
What's messed out around about? It looks fine to me. I see. Should ride on this bad boy. Yeah? Ah, I see something. Ah, little pipe to climb. Climb the pipe. Traveler. Oh look, there's the Fatari Harb. No, it's not Harb, it's just a Fatui. Guy with the hammer.
Let the show begin.
Spring forth!
Illusion shattered.
This isn't good.
Ah, I fucked him up. Oh, okay, I can't see what is that right? Okay, guess that was right. So I keep turning towards me. Let's say, how do I get up there? Oh, it's
Frozen. Crisp, you'll get frostbite.
not frozen.
Flash frost.
Genshin Impact.
Freshness preserved.
Good for you. I'm gonna bring this instead.
Cooked food. Disgusting.
Food?
I'll protect us.
Especially in this one. cold.
There is no escape. Shine down.
Can't run from death.
Righty. Oh, it's the oh, I see. She wasn't about the thing in the circle, since she was more about the thing around it. It's one of those twisty puzzle things.
The cart is stuck. Maybe there's something wrong with the tracks. Let's try adjusting the direction of the device to clear the tracks.
Did that work? No, it's still. No. Oh, that's, no, it's gonna work because then it's gonna go that way. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. Now, oh, I guess not. Huh? How comes I can't? What? What? I missed something. Oh, I just had to step on it again. It's very tired today, so my brain is not very focused right now. I don't know why I need that there. I can literally fly over there. That's a hot guy. He's not gonna be very hot.
Dance.
Right.
Shouldn't get careless.
Pyrotechnics.
I'll try and see if there's nothing off the edge of that. No, but I still keep his ass all the same. Alrighty, I don't know how many more we've got to go, but we'll see. Ah, this thing here, okay. Did I do it right? Yeah, I did it. I did it, Sonic! Ah, more for 2 easy.
Propagate! Let's terminate!
Feel the beat.
Fuck. Damn it! I was trying to get that guy before he pushed his shield thing up, but I clearly fucked.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Stay right there.
He's almost dead anyway.
There is no escape.
Let's end this quickly.
Uh-huh. How's that work for you, mate? Oh, you sly bastard. Huh?
You must counterattack.
Power core.
Ah, it's the windy guy, huh? How about you have a load of that?
Get careless.
Shine down.
So, Killjoy, only just begun. You need a
Torn to oblivion.
went too far. This one's well done.
I think he just got thrown to oblivion.
An unfortunate fault.
Ah, it's the ice one, huh?
Time to rock.
Careful.
Pyrotechnics.
this must be the last one, right? And so much jump down now, right? Well, yeah. Oh, nope, cutscene. Well, that's definitely a lift. Okay. Now let's take a little trip down the pipey thing. Oh, it's going up actually, never mind. I thought it was going to go down, but it went up. Let's go all the way to the top. Aha! Oh.
Looking at its operational status, we must prepare for the worst. The god they wanted to create is likely close to completion or already completed.
That's not a...
Oh no, what should we do? Paimon can't imagine how hard it would be to fight against a Fatui Harbinger with a Gnosis.
Are you nervous, Paimon?
If you really want to know, of course Paimon's nervous. Aren't you too, Nahida?
Mostly frustrated anxiety, Dookie.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
This
Never
is
mind.
probably the first time I faced with a calamity of this degree since my birth. I feel not just nervous, but curious as well.
Curious? Curious about what?
Curious about our fate. To me, everything we perceive in this world, everything we learn, and everything that happens to us is considered knowledge. And if it's a form of knowledge, then it can be understood. However, only fate is about that which has yet to occur, so it has always drawn my curiosity. So to me, fate is the ultimate knowledge.
Ah.
That's also why I love observing humans and all the things that happen to them. It all brings me great satisfaction. And now, at long last, I'm not just an observer anymore.
You're a participator.
I will personally experience my own fate with you by my side. Isn't this such a wonderfully exciting thing?
I guess.
Ah, so that's what you mean. Paimon thinks she understands what you're feeling.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Agreed. Okay, let's continue on. I can sense his aura from here.
And he's pissed. What happened? I didn't even get a chance to walk in or not. Oh, it's cutscene time. It's a giant mech robot. I mean, I already knew about it. It's pretty much from the key art for this. But still, seeing it in person is impressive. You didn't like that.
Who would have thought the world would be so eager for my birth? I remember you, Booer, the god of wisdom, and standing beside you, the traveler.
Is he all-knowing and powerful now like Greater Lord Rukkhadevata?
No, I can't feel the same kind of divinity I felt from the Greater Lord. It seems that the sages didn't get the chance to infuse the divine knowledge capsules into him. But even still, he has undoubtedly become a true god now.
So we're too late? The Balladeer has already become a god?
The Balladeer. A long bygone title. When my spirit ascended to divinity, I felt as if I had existed for the same number of epochs as heaven and earth. Looking back, the existence of what once called itself Kunikazushi appears infinitely small and ugly.
I didn't catch those too quick for me to read, but hold on.
Aura. It really feels like the gods.
A body that capitalizes on the Balladeer's original construction as a mechanical puppet, with the Gnosis serving as a constant power supply.
No, yes, you take the power supply and he's fucked.
How much effort and resources did the sages put into this?
And money, because that thing looks fucking expensive. But we're gonna break it all the same. It's cool looking. You have to admit, you may be the bad guy, but that right there is fucking awesome.
From a purely technological perspective, it's a commendable achievement indeed. It's no exaggeration to say, this is the culmination of human wisdom.
Yes, making giant weapons of destruction. Sounds about right.
You sure are something. Dishing out compliments at a time like this?
But I don't think he's reached the spiritual height of a god.
So he's still the same old balladeer, but on the inside.
Strife is engraved upon every god and every gnosis brought forth into this world. Can you feel it? The exhilaration of such power, and the thrill of anticipation for our contention.
Nahida wouldn't feel the same things as you!
Do you not realize that you are interrupting a conversation between gods? Lowly creature, know your place!
Still the same balladeer we know.
The strife engraved upon a gnosis. You're talking about the Archon War. Tevat's current peace was not easily won. I didn't personally participate in the Archon War, but the way I see it, all those losses were meaningless, driven by the demands of the laws. There's no point in bringing it up again.
What's this? Oh, it's good to sneeze.
Is that so? Yet I am deeply disappointed that I was never allowed the fortuity to personally participate in the Archon War. This is a first. Encountering a god in this world who does not crave power. No wonder your own people have abandoned you, God of Wisdom.
But from now on...
Your judgment is as your existence. Unsubstantial. This is where everything ends, Booer. The God of Wisdom.
So what are you the god of?
You should know that wisdom cannot solve every problem. Like now, where your only option is to face me in combat.
Alright then.
Come!
I don't know. I'm trying just the way he said that. It said, come! Why do you come?
Let us reenact a scene of the Archon War. Come and inaugurate my birth as a god.
Alright, boss fight time.
Sure!
What's the little... It's gonna need some little leg. Damn! I'm gonna just attack his little... Attack the belly. Belly attack. Oh! What is... What's this? Oh, that's not good. What are these? Ow! Oh, they did something. What was the music there? Now what? Supercharged, but now... Oh, hang on. I need to be near. I noticed the button popped up. What did that do? Just protect me?
Spring forth!
Mummy's here to kick your ass and pee in your place. Oh, I think you didn't like his mother being here.
You shall fall.
Hey, not the guitar!
Okay, I need to
Feeble human!
try and get this thing to do its thing.
I'm used to this one.
Okay, I need to... Okay, cool. I don't care about that. I need to get some food in my guy's belly before he fucking die here. Oh, his hand's gone. Ah.
Insignificant past!
Inazuma shines eternal!
Oh, maybe I should attack his hand. Okay. I'll grab him on one of
My
these.
endless cycle begins!
Huh? Yeah, I thought I can't jump that high. Damn it! How does this thing work? 1 minute shows
Feeble
something done.
human!
Okay. Take a risk here. Ah, there we go.
Insignificant past!
Oh, I see what it does now. I can near one of these things without use that. I see. Well, that was not smart. Oh, flaws. Okay, now I get it. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Right. That's on the hot. Okay.
At my command, you shall fall!
There we go. I bet just the wind won't get.
Feeble human!
Oh fuck, that was not the best option there.
Ready, steady, go!
Wasn't the best.
Insignificant past!
Excellent.
Yeah, struck your mother like this. Great.
Scatter! My endless cycle!
Oh shit, that's not good, that's not good. Fuck, let's get to it. There we go.
Insignificant past!
Shit. Oh fuck, I forgot. Look, literally. Nice.
Go, Barber, go!
Somebody's also using power.
Illusion shattered!
No, it's not charged up yet. Or it's diamond. Pop on it.
At
idea.
my command, you shall fall!
Fuck. What else, guys?
Propagate! Insignificant past!
You were saying? I feel like it's going to be one of those boss fights where there's different. This music goes hard. It's almost... It really goes hard.
Feel the beat!
Oh, come on,
My endless cycle begins!
Shit, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Okay. So let's get to
Insignificant past!
Don't say that to your mother.
Torn to oblivion!
This is bad boy.
Feeble human!
Okay. Whoa, makes sound disappeared for a second. Oh, try for this now.
At my command, you shall fall.
How's that working for you, matey? Come on, Travis, move now.
Significant past.
Oh. I said sometimes he's gonna have another form. Yeah. Ooh. Yes. Now it's connected to his torso. And he's got 4 arms. And pointy toe. Feet. Oh no, he's got his proper feet. Oh, okay, everyone's healed, that's good. It's a little fair on this. Oh my god. The shield thing as well.
Kneel.
You're the one kneeling, matey. Your pointy feet. Feet, Zentroya.
Shine down.
Oh. Okay. Don't seem to be doing any damage. There's some opportunity to do damage at some point.
Burn to oblivion.
Don't. Oh wait, this is something.
Scatter. Tremble.
Shit. Do something?
Reality is pain.
Whoa. Oh, right in the head. Oh, that's good. This seems familiar. Oh, Jesus. He's gonna eat her? He's
This is
gonna eat
supposed to be
Nina?
a battle between gods, yet you choose to hide behind a mortal. And now, you're acting like you'd sacrifice yourself for a human. Are you having fun proving a false sense of heroism to yourself, Booer?
The data collection is almost complete. Do you even know how many times you've tried to take my gnosis from me?
Oh. Is she trapped in some sort of infinite tsunami?
We just concluded the 168th loop. Did you know that in the effort to create you, the people of Sumeru were forced to live through the exact same number of Sub-Zerus festivals and Samsara cycles?
The power of dreams. When did you use it on me?
Then. That's just what she was doing. And this little fella helped.
You can't even defeat me in a dream. What do you hope to achieve with this little trick?
Come, Traveler. Just like before. Allow me to awaken the memories in your dreams.
All that battle experience!
It's more than that. Compile everyone's wisdom in the name of the Archon. That is the original function of the Akasha. I've sent everything that happened just now to the people of Sumeru in the form of knowledge. I've asked them to help you find a way to defeat the false god.
Oh. Collective knowledge.
Now, all of Sumeru's wisdom is at your disposal.
This time it's for real.
Meaningless tricks
Back.
won't save you.
This time it's for real.
Are you done with your tricks? Can I finally take this as a real battle between gods?
I'll leave this to you. The first sage of Boor.
Ooh. Now the fight's for real, bitch.
I am the all-knowing god.
Oh, whoa, I didn't realize Nita was in that party.
Burn to oblivion.
Sharing my knowledge.
Kneel.
Passing the kneeling, thank you. So, double whammy here. And Mother's hopping up to me. I feel like at this point I'm probably supposed to actually survive until this little guy
Tremble.
Ow, ow.
Insolent.
Shit. Maybe switch to need it. Okay.
Reality?
Oh damn, that did some damage. It's weak now.
Good riddance, cruel world.
Oh, he's using a bloody spirit bomb?
Commit it to memory.
Go with that one. No, damn it. I'm running out of time here. Uh-oh.
Your new god awakens.
Oh, damn.
Now,
Nice
your
back.
eyes have been opened.
Right, let's switch back to the traveler.
Filth.
Oh, we're doing damage now.
Kneel.
Illusion shattered.
Oh, it's got the hot stuff, huh? And then I've got the water stuff. I should use. Forget about these. I should use stamina. Actually, while I've got the support set, I really need to pee, so I'm going to be back in a second because I'm holding it way too long. Nope, wrong room. I need that pee break. Oh, I need to. I also need to switch the channel back over. Because I can feel myself sweating a lot, and I don't want to be like pulling story stuff off, just having trouble focusing because I need a bloody pee. But I feel myself waking up now because this boss fight's got my adrenaline rushing. I think, it's well. Again, how important stuff is. Okay, Nikita.
I see everything.
Damn it.
Reality is pain.
Oh, jeez. Got him.
Kneel.
No.
I see everything.
Got him again. I missed him.
Burn to oblivion.
Oh, you got wrecked, BT. You wanted to battle the gods, and this little elf girl just kicked your ass, mate.
Humans. Filthy humans.
Just gonna give him a hug. Oh, there's Gnosis.
No. Wait. Please. Anything but the Gnosis. That's mine. Don't even try. I'll never go back.
We haven't yet found the answer to the most important mystery. Irminsul is still waiting to be saved.
Oh, right.
With the power of another Gnosis, we may now finally understand the last memory of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata.
This is...
That's right. This is the last memory of my predecessor.
Ooh.
Huh. This sure seems very different from what Paimon imagined. Shouldn't Irminsul be in this realm of consciousness?
Yes, that is our destination. But I didn't expect the remaining consciousness of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata to be as polluted as this.
Polluted?
Forbidden knowledge? It seems you know about a concept that even I don't completely understand. Could you tell me what you know?
You don't need all about you learned about in the desert.
Your inference seems logical enough. Forbidden knowledge once polluted the desert thousands of years ago, but was successfully repelled thanks to King Deshret's self-sacrifice and Greater Lord Rukkhadevata nearly exhausting her power. Then, a second instance of forbidden knowledge pollution occurred during the Conria Cataclysm 500 years ago.
Oh.
But I'm afraid it is much more serious this time, with Irminsul itself already in danger.
So, if we're in the remaining consciousness of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and it's also been affected by forbidden knowledge pollution, then does that mean, in order to save us, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata?
Yes. It's very possible that she sacrificed her life in the fight against forbidden knowledge. She didn't completely eradicate forbidden knowledge, but if it weren't for her actions, the pollution would have been far more rampant over these past 500 years. The way that everyone, including me, has forgotten everything about forbidden knowledge may very well be due to her restoration of Irminsul.
Uh-oh.
Aww. Do you feel sad, Nahida?
I'm just sharing her pain. The pollution of her consciousness here is severe. There is madness, chaos, and pain all around us. Did she fight to resist the forbidden knowledge pollution in such terrible conditions, all the way up to her last breath? She even used her last remnant of lucid consciousness to leave a clue for us to follow.
By clue, you mean?
Yes. Her words were distorted by forbidden knowledge, so that's all we could hear.
Ah.
But now, we have a chance to find the answer to this mystery. We can cross the polluted consciousness until we found the right path to meet with her lucid consciousness. And then, we'll let Greater Lord Rukkhadevata tell us the truth in person.
I hope we can use that truth to save everyone.
Each of us need to be mindful of the state of our own consciousness while we are here. Even with the Gnosis' protection, we must always keep a clear mind. Otherwise, we could go mad at any moment.
That's so scary.
Don't worry, it should be easy enough for you to keep that mind of yours clear, Paimon. Let's go.
Did she just call Paimon stupid? Is this what she's thinking at? I knew there was going to be a lot more of this. Like I said, because what? Okay, there's a floating ship.
Are we in the air? And why is there a huge boat?
That's the boat of consciousness, which symbolizes reason here. Its course is the direction our consciousness is traveling towards. If we lose control over our consciousness, we will fall into madness. So let's make sure the boat stays on course.
I saw something thrown down there. As I said, well, this being in 5 parts, I just imagined that the final part was going to be incredibly long.
Wow. What are these? The monsters seem to have been affected by them.
Oh, wait, there. Oh, but you messing me, stupid teacher? Was there anyone who was fighting the battle there half expecting the Raiden Shogun to actually show up? I mean, the way he is kind of hurtful. I see, we just got to follow these monsters. Easy peasy. Fine.
Scatter! Yeah.
Wait, yeah. Where's the goblet staff thing? Okay, asshole. What are you laughing at? Oh, I was riding the bike.
Shine down! Insolent.
There we go. Now to deal with this big thing.
Let the show begin.
How are you used to that? He's stuck. Ah, he's stuck. He can't get me. You're stuck behind that.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Ah, you can't get me. You're stuck behind there. Ha ha ha. Oh fuck. Ah, that was close one. Ah, you're stuck. You're stuck. You're stuck. Ah. Time to keep. Stuck behind there. Couldn't do anything about it. Oh, I could have moved along. Wait, no. Was that there before? I don't know. Oh, these assholes are going to get me. fourth one I thought my phone was vibrating. My imagination's a
Spring forth! Feel the beat!
Alright, it's voice.
Look! A four-leaf sigil has appeared in the sky!
There's it out. Give me a 4-leaf clover. This boy was meant to be. Well, this is the red moon. Oh, it means these things here I was grabbing hold of. Okay. Yeah! Let's see if I can knock him off the edge. Knock him off. Yeah, there it goes.
There is no escape!
There's the boat. The boat of knowledge or dreams or whatever.
Oh, protect us!
Oh. Give this asshole first. Bring help.
Shine down!
Propagate!
I see him bouncing around there. He's a little slimy slime.
Power core!
Ah, I knew it was wise to say this.
Germinate!
Damn it!
Torn to oblivion!
Torn to oblivion.
Absurd!
Propagate!
Damn it! No, don't attack that. Attack him.
To
There we
control
go.
the boat of consciousness, we need to find the helm first.
That was what the boat calm. Consciousness. Oh, this looks like a helm.
We changed direction. Are we still going the right way, Nahida? Mm-hmm. Judging from the current route, the boat of consciousness will soon take us out of here. We'll be arriving at our destination soon. How are you feeling? Are your minds still intact?
See, some strange thoughts come from time to time.
Huh? But everything's been completely normal for Paimon. Hopefully there won't be any more interruptions. This time, we should be able to meet Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Are you saying you've never met Greater Lord Rukkhadevata before? No. It seems that my birth and her death took place at the same time.
I just had a theory. What if she's actually the reincarnation of her, but doesn't have her past memories as being Lord Rukkhadevata? Just a thought. Because in the last quest, we did see Lord Rukkhadevata used her powers and shrunk a little and kind of looked a little like Nikita.
Otherwise,
I think she would have given me a little more guidance, and I could have done a better job.
Hey, you've done a great job, Nahida. Let's get out of this creepy place and go meet her.
You probably have to fight some enemies along the way. We want a big boat where enemies could drop in.
So,
Oh, never mind.
is this the place you were talking about? The base of Irminsul?
Base. But a base is very beautiful though. It's fucking beautiful. Is that lavender?
Well, this is the place.
Yes. It is.
We're here to find Greater Lord Ruka Devata, right?
Left.
But the one standing over there is...
I knew it.
Is that me? She looks exactly like me. Are you Greater Lord Ruka Devata?
Yes, that's me. Are you surprised by my appearance?
I can't believe my eyes.
Irminsul and the surrounding lands have been reproduced here as they were years ago. But this is just a realm of consciousness. We are manifestations of the same nature. Hence why we would appear exactly the same.
Ah.
We're of the same nature. Why?
Because you are me, and I am you. You are me in the new samsara.
The new samsara?
As Greater Lord Rukadevata, I'm the avatar of Irminsul, and you are the purest branch snapped from Irminsul.
Ah, so it's like some reincarnation
Imagine it this way. Even if a tree dies, its branches will eventually take root and grow, continuing the tree's life in another form. I'm merely the remaining consciousness of Greater Lord Rukadevata. The real me has presumably died a long time ago. Judging from your appearance, I've probably been dead for 500 years.
How did she work that
But
out?
you're finally here. My new self in the samsara.
So this is the between you two.
If this is true, then am I going to be a great Archon like you someday?
Though we share the same nature, our fates are bound to be different. All things have their own fate. When a branch grows into a mature tree, it won't be the same as the original tree.
But I said, basically some form of reincarnation situation.
That's why fate is the ultimate knowledge, isn't it?
Which kind of feels fitting when you think about the culture that Samara's centered around.
That's a great insight. Yes, very good. It's also precisely why you won't become like me.
Really?
But perhaps you may become an even greater Archon than I.
No.
I already see a determination in you that I didn't possess in my time, and the future that it leads you to will be yours alone. Along with the blessings from your past experiences. Don't worry. The growth of wisdom is like that of a plant. You only need to wait quietly for the flower to bloom.
Actually, now that I think about it, it more or less makes this. It's more like a situation of mother and daughter than reincarnation, because sometimes we do. Some people will compare us to our own parents, so that maybe that is more accurate than reincarnation. But usually, when you say you look similar to your parents, not exactly the same, so there is a difference there. Maybe a bit of the both, because it sounds like reincarnation is what they're getting at with them. Faith in the need to.
Come to think of it, The sages never had the faintest inkling of the meaning of wisdom.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nothing makes me happier than discovering that the Archon I always admired was in fact myself in another fate.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like oh no, not necessarily. Well, there's always the idea of reincarnation. There's always the fear that we people do reincarnate, but we don't remember our past lives. Which is the idea they're taking from that I think about that the idea is that when we grow old and die, we don't necessarily go to heaven or hell. We reincarnate into a new life, but we don't remember our past lives because of that. And that's kind of the idea I think they're going with this. It's like sometimes when people see like old paintings of someone and it looks like someone in present day, there's fears that could have been your past self or just a coincidence. But it is an interesting thought. I can even say the word philosophical thought.
It's so nice to speak with you, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. I've always wanted to meet you.
Which makes sense in the idea of this being all about the land of wisdom.
The feeling is mutual. From the moment I snapped the branch off Irminsul and created you, I've also looked forward to talking with you.
Could you tell me why you wanted to create me? And what exactly happened when you died?
Ah, I see. You're here seeking answers, right?
Yep.
Everything that day, even the sky itself, changed into a color like this.
I knew it. The Kanya.
At that time, the seven were all summoned to the nation of Conria. Except for me. I had a more important task to attend to. I had to protect Irminsul. The disaster occurred together with the pollution of forbidden knowledge. At that very moment, with my consciousness connected to Irminsul, I sensed something was wrong. The pain started to torment my mind. By the time I reached Irminsul, it was already displaying signs of corruption. Had I not repelled the pollution of forbidden knowledge with King Deshret thousands of years ago, I might have felt even more hopeless and lost.
So what exactly is forbidden knowledge?
Well, it's knowledge that's forbidden.
It's a kind of knowledge that doesn't belong to this world, and a form of truth that can't be understood.
Once again, hence the term forbidden.
It came from the very bottom of the abyss. Even I could never understand it. The world is constantly rejecting it, leading to all kinds of bad phenomena. If we allow forbidden knowledge to pollute Irminsul, I'm afraid the entirety of Teyvat could fall apart.
So, there's knowledge that even the God of Wisdom can't understand?
At that time, I knew I couldn't repel the forbidden knowledge with my strength alone. Which is why I created a device that compiled human wisdom and named it the Akasha.
Ah.
It's truly the world's most amazing invention.
Thank you. For a long time, I thought dreams were the fruit of human wisdom. Though it was selfish to do so, I borrowed people's dreams using the Akasha. Then I compiled their wisdom and all of my own power.
Well, did it work?
Thanks to the wisdom of the people of Sumeru, almost all the forbidden knowledge was cleared from Irminsul.
So just do the same now.
But things didn't go as smoothly as I thought. I had a terrible headache, which gave me an uneasy feeling. And then I remembered that my consciousness was also connected with Irminsul. It brought me knowledge and wisdom, but vile corruption as well.
Oh.
From the very beginning, my existence had been polluted by the forbidden knowledge.
Oh no. How could that happen?
I've experienced that pain in your consciousness. It must have been a horrible experience.
Yes, but my feelings weren't important. The important thing was that
Right.
even if I died, my existence and everything related to me would continue to exist in Irminsul as memories and knowledge, meaning that the forbidden knowledge couldn't ever be permanently eradicated. And there's no way for me to eliminate myself. It would be a sort of paradox. So, I took the purest branch of Irminsul as my incarnation in the next samsara, and left a trail of clues.
So it was no, I was right at first. It was reincarnation.
All in hopes that you would come here and remove me and my pollution from Irminsul forever.
Wait, no, I can't.
So you realize what that implies. You are very smart indeed. Irminsul has all the knowledge and memories of this world. And as you've realized just now, removing me from Irminsul means I essentially will never have existed in this world. But this is the only way to save Irminsul.
People love you so much, and they've missed you so much over the past 500 years. I am exactly the same. So how can we just forget you like this? Is there really no other way? There must be something else I can do.
You're the god of wisdom, Booer. You should know that there is no other way.
But this is so cruel. I don't want to forget you.
No need to feel so sad, Booer. As someone who delights in wisdom, you should feel joy at finally finding the answer. These are the words in their entirety. The answer you've been seeking all along. Let the world completely forget me.
Oh. Now there's words and there's meaning.
We all nestle under the great tree of wisdom, peering out to perceive the world. From the earth and from the rain, we perceive its wonders, until we become a white bird to perch atop a branch, and finally snap off the most important leaf. Once upon a time, I alone dreamed in this world. In my dreams, everybody would also dream after they fell asleep. Wild and wonderful thoughts would emerge from their minds. Some tumbled to the ground, and others floated to the sky, connecting all things in the world into one dazzling net. Among a plethora of worlds were numerous smaller worlds, all of fate, finding within the tapestry their brilliant glow. I gradually understood that these indescribable and constantly changing things are the most profound things in the world. Only they can completely repel the madness. Only dreams can awaken consciousness from the deepest darkness.
Oh. Bless her.
I'm the one who posed this question, yet also the one who sought a solution. Saving the world with the dreams of the people used to be my answer. And now, you've also found your own answer, and I shall return all the dreams to the people.
Healed.
Goodbye, people of Sumeru. May you be blessed tonight with the sweetest of dreams.
Oh, that got me. Yeah.
I'm alright. I'm just a little confused.
What are you confused about?
We've just saved the world, right? So why am I crying? I don't know where this feeling inside of me is coming from. But I feel very sad.
You still remember that's what's happened just now.
Just now, we used the power of two gnosis to successfully connect with the Ermin soul consciousness from 500 years ago. Then, we removed the remaining pollution from Merman soul.
She's forgotten her.
Yeah, what's wrong? Weren't you there just now?
Paimon doesn't seem to remember either. Has anybody really forgotten Greater Lord and Gavara? It's probably because the Traveler's not from this world that he still remembers her. Should I tell them the truth? What's that sound? I feel super sleepy. Wait, something gone wrong? Oh, what was that? Oh no, it's the doctor, isn't it?
Huh? That sound. Traveler! Paimon!
It's the first time I've seen Paimon on the ground.
I've been waiting here far too long. But finally I have the chance to be alone with you. All the precious time I wasted has finally paid off.
That's right, they has to always end with someone losing their gnosis.
The doctor! What have you done?
Just a type of sound wave that can quickly put defenseless people into a dream. As I expected, it doesn't have any effect on gods. This is the only thing of interest I found among the sage's research. I thought I'd take it for a little spin.
What if she just runs up and drop kicks him in the groin?
Don't worry. I know you would never forgive me if I actually killed them.
I want to see her just drop kick this guy in the nuts.
I'm here to negotiate with you. Naturally, I won't do anything dangerous that could potentially damage our relationship.
Negotiate with me? I heard you had already left Sumeru. Why are you here again now?
I mean, it's obvious.
I left Sumeru, but I also stayed in Sumeru. Even the God of Wisdom is restricted by the habits of cognition. How disappointing.
You mean there are many different versions of you in this world?
An astute guess. Even the same individual will have different cognitions at different ages.
What's he getting at?
A long time ago, I made a major decision in hopes of preserving all my perspectives of how I observed the world.
Is he talking about like eternal life? Or like transforming his body, his mind and consciousness into a puppet that looks like him?
Observation is the first step of any experiment, but observing the current world doesn't satisfy me. It lacks an important dimension, that of time. So I saved segments of all my ages and made them into independent individuals.
Was he fucking Lord Voldemort? Sounds very familiar.
That's all there is to it. Indulge me. How does the God of Wisdom find my method of seeking knowledge?
It's an insult to the very concept of life. Life inherently has many rules and restrictions, each with its own significance and reason to exist. They can't be broken on a whim.
Good. Amazing, even. Indeed, It's difficult for humans to make peace with themselves, not to mention oneself from a different period.
Since you were in the academia, why wait until now to show up? You could very well have stopped us and helped that fake god.
Simple. Let me ask you this. Would any staff member ever help the subject in the middle of an experiment? It was my experiment, so why should I interfere with the results?
The academia saw the plan to create a god as their ultimate goal, yet you only saw it as an ordinary experiment. You really are crazy. If the experiment succeeded, you would have had a new god on your hands. How would you have faced your own god then?
Dropkick him in the nuts.
Would you still take the same stance? Would you still hold the same view of yourself?
I'm first and foremost a scholar. These results should be left to the judgment of the hypothetical me confronted with that outcome. But you're right. And that's exactly why I'm disappointed with the conclusion of this experiment.
As an individual, you don't have any sense of belonging. You seem to have even fewer convictions than a typical scholar.
Oh no, I certainly have my own convictions. They just don't fit your standards, that's all. All right, that's enough conversation for today. The experiment is over, and it's time to tidy up the equipment and reclaim any useful materials. For example, the Gnosis.
How did you say two Gnosis? Would we Gnosisize? Gnosis?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you're an intelligent Archon. I'm sure you understand the disparity in our combat abilities at this time. Besides, you have no way to use that electro-gnosis in battle.
Didn't you say you were here to negotiate with me? Somehow, it's starting to seem like you intend to take it by force now.
I'm merely stating a fact.
I don't know if she kicked him in the nuts.
After all, I'm also a scholar. Naturally, I hope to show proper respect and dignity to the God of Wisdom.
Your hypocrisy is built on absolute confidence. I understand your scheme, but... what if I were to destroy the Gnosis now and awaken the heavenly principles?
Awaken the heavenly principles? Do you think that's really possible?
The heavenly principles have been silent for many years, but the Gnosis are symbols of their control over Tevat and all the laws. Will the destruction of a Gnosis attract the attention of the heavenly principles? And if so, how do the Fatui plan to deal with the consequences? Do you dare to gamble such a possibility with me?
Gamble? How surprising. I thought you would show evidence or use rigorous reasoning to prove your point. The word gamble is the last thing I expected to hear from the God of Wisdom. But this is a clever move. You must have seen through me when I first captured your consciousness. As a scholar, I respect all possibilities. This has always been my principle and is an essential trait as an experimenter. Indeed, I can't ignore this possibility. So tell me then, what are your conditions?
This foreign Gnosis will only lead to disaster if it stays in Sumeru. But this electro-gnosis is the prize I obtained after defeating one of your fellow Harbingers. Now, as the one who initiated this cascade of events, shouldn't you pay the corresponding price?
Price? Interesting. What price would you have me pay?
How about erasing all your other segments?
So this is how you wish to restrict me, the most threatening opponent of the Nation of Wisdom. What you request of me is like plucking out the eyes I have placed in the dimension of time. Segments are extraordinarily difficult to make. They require extremely rare resources and enormous amounts of time and effort, requiring me to destroy them all here and now. Bravo. A suitably wise decision on your part. Yes, how very interesting. Can I assume that you have long been wary of me? Among all the versions of me, this segment you see now is the most selfish. If it weren't me, your idea wouldn't have worked. What did you see when you were imprisoned? You were observing me, and that's how you know I've long grown tired of their doubts and endless arguments.
Like you said, it's difficult to make peace with yourself.
In this case, he means literally.
Being as smart as you are, have you managed to do that?
I see. If you think all those versions of me are worth a gnosis, then deal.
You sure didn't hesitate much. Is the relationship between all the versions of you really that bad?
I don't think there's any need to dwell on that. The surplus versions of me can be exchanged for a gnosis. Do you think anyone can offer themselves at a higher price? Besides, with my abilities, it's only a matter of time until I find better perspectives. Perhaps it's best to say, you're just temporarily ahead. But what I'd like to know is, how can you be sure that I've really erased them?
There's a point there.
I can see your remaining honesty.
What a ridiculous decision! You can't be serious!
How could I have been so short-sighted?
You think this is the end? Wait, I'll have it. Please wait!
You'll make this moment count.
You will regret this!
I see that's him racing his other
Well,
thing.
have you confirmed that it's complete?
Here, take it.
Oh, just that
The
notice.
future of Sumeru City will be in my hands alone. I will shut down the Akasha and let curiosity and the thirst for knowledge drive the realm of academics once again. There won't be any further gaps for you to exploit.
It truly pains me that my academic achievements have never been appreciated in my homeland. Of course, I have no interest in being rejected by this city for a third time. Another chess piece. And where is your dendronosis?
Don't be greedy, Harbinger of Snezhnaya.
No, this is a different transaction. If you intend to turn off the Akasha anyway, then there's no further use for the Gnosis of Sumeru, is there? Besides, isn't it the Archon's duty to deliver what's desired of the Seeker? Oh, judging from your expression, you don't seem to find the idea very agreeable. Then let's think of it this way. Since you're the god of wisdom, how about I exchange some knowledge with you?
Oh.
People exchanging knowledge with the God of Wisdom is the stuff of legends. Yet here you wish to exchange knowledge for the God of Wisdom's property. Arrogant as that is, it has piqued my interest.
Let me ask you, have you in all your mighty knowledge ever heard the rumor that the skies of Tevat are fake?
What?
Huh?
Okay, so this is piquing my interest because I saw on TikTok someone actually theorizing that exact thing.
That's the secret hidden by Irminsul concerning the truth of this world.
Things just got
Once I
interesting.
finish telling you about this, it will be time for me to say goodbye. With negotiations, we've all gotten what we wanted. I'm very glad I got to meet you like this.
Your arrogance may know no bounds, and convictions may mean nothing to you. But I'll still listen to what you have to say.
There's going on things we're not going to hear what he says to her. It's just going to have like a shocked face, and then we won't find it out until much later in the game. Yes, as I thought so. Unless she might tell us, who knows. Several days later.
Together! Okay. Wake him up.
Wait, what are we going to do? Wake the
Are you awake? Kali says it's time for breakfast. Come on, get up!
Just for once, I wanted to be right on my face and say, wake the fuck up, traveler. Good morning, Paimon.
Good morning! How are you feeling today?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good to hear. It looks like we've recovered pretty well. Not even Tainari could stop us from going out now, right?
That's right. On that day, we lost battle. Then we wake up, we find ourselves in Godtara Villa and Tanari and are looking after us. I heard that it was Sino who brought us here. Tanari told us to clean good rest after a few days to be able to go back out. From that, Tanari said Kasha has been turned off completely and the people of Sumeru will no longer rely on it. And I think, isn't it? I just realized this. Is the Kasha kind of an allegory for smartphones and how in real life we rely way too heavily on our smartphones for every need, even in some cases knowledge? Such a big change will clearly affect people's lives, but will definitely be a good thing.
Come on, Traveler, let's go!
Alrighty then. Well, I jumped in.
Good morning. Looks like you're awake.
Doggy!
Yep.
Good morning.
I prepared some breakfast today. Please have a taste.
Okay.
I hope you'll like it. It's nice to have you here so we can eat something yummy. Well, now that I've recovered from Elazar, I'm feeling better than ever. I can even prepare 4 or 5 meals a day now. And Paimon bets they're all delicious.
Very yummy breakfast.
Oh, by the way, someone brought a letter for you after you went to sleep last night. Nope. Paimon wanted to read the letter with you after you woke up, so Paimon didn't open it. Alright, let's read it now. Oh, it's from Milu. Ahem. We're going to hold a feast at the Grand Bazaar and celebrate Sino's reinstatement as the General Mahamatra. As heroes of Sumeru, please be sure to attend. I'll wait for you. The date of the banquet is written on the back. It's in 2 days. Oh, I've also heard that you've become heroes here as well. That's amazing.
It's really not that amazing.
Everyone's aware of your abilities. There's no need to be modest. Anyway, let's go to the Grand Bazaar to have a look. Oh, before you leave, be sure to inform Master Tainari.
Hello, Ducky. Do you know where he is? He's over there, actually. Up in here, in this little tree house thing. Not his tree house, near a tree house. It was just in his house.
Good morning. How do you feel today?
We feel much better. How about you?
How's your wound, Tanari?
I'm recovering well. Thanks for asking.
That's right, he got struck by lightning.
But from the looks of it, you seem to be already busy with work again.
It's fine. I'm not that busy, really. The Elazar patients have recovered, as well as Hypatia. For now, I only need to tend to my Forest Watcher duties.
It seems once Irminsul started started getting better, everything else started to recover too.
Yes, but there are still some residual effects.
This is the indication of if you didn't go to all the areas in Samara to get rid of the infection area. She said it's basically saying, hey, they're still there for some plot reason. Games do this a lot when there's like stuff like that. When you beat the virus or whatever it is effect thing, it still leaves out some residuals of it's there, just to have a gameplay reason for them to still be there if you eradicated it.
The withering is one example. Though it won't spread anymore, the existing zones won't just disappear. We forest rangers will still need to do the work.
I appreciate that appears to that.
By the way, we have some good news. Sino got his position back.
This news is hardly new. He had already mentioned it to me before.
Huh? You mean he was already here? Why didn't he come to say hi to us?
Because he was too busy to. I still love these gloves that like got like paw pads on them.
He visited once, but he was afraid of disturbing you while you were resting.
Aww.
He just asked me a few questions and left.
And you probably already know all about the celebration feast.
Celebration feast? No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Ah.
Huh? But didn't Nilo say in her letter that they would celebrate Sino? He didn't tell you?
Oh.
Perhaps, or alternatively, he doesn't know about it either.
Come to think of it, Sino doesn't seem like the type who'd enjoy a celebration feast.
I guess no, I was planning to tell him once the festival was underway. Haha!
You and Kale are both Sino's close friends. Why don't you come to the feast with us?
Kala has taken over some of my tasks these days. I don't think she'll have time for it. Not to mention me. You see, some VIPs have come to the forest recently.
Ooh.
Huh? VIPs? Very important Paimons?
Close, but not quite.
Well, technically speaking, they are former VIPs. The sages involved in recent incidents have begun their training in the Avidya forest, and the people they had previously imprisoned have all been released.
Huh?
Is that your master were alright?
Yes, he's a little weak, but he isn't injured and his condition is stable. Lesser Lord Kusanali, in her boundless mercy, has decided to spare Azar and the other wrongdoers. Supposedly, they were ashamed of their shallow ideologies and have decided to dedicate the rest of their lives to cultivating wisdom in the Avidya forest. When they learned that Lesser Lord Kusanali had defeated the Balladeer and saved Irminsul, they were shocked at first, but also became happy, feeling that the sacred light guiding them on the path of discovering wisdom had begun to shine once again. As a result, work has increased for the forest rangers.
That sounds really exhausting.
There's nothing we can do, really. But that's another topic. Back to the matter at hand. Are you two planning to head out?
Ah, right! We're here to request permission to head out. Would that be okay?
You've recovered well. You may go, but be careful.
Yay! Will do!
I'll try not to fall in a ditch. Gotcha. Wait, hold on.
The rainforest is the best place to live.
No, not that. That's the weird. This is where I hate what a will menus. You try and select what you want to fucking select, and it's like, no. I'm curious how we get the rest of these now. Unless there's the last three are going to be popping up as we complete certain aspects of them. So we'll find out. Alright, yeah. Probably best to fast travel. Right, yeah, here. It's down. You ever remember where the Grand Bazaar is? And I nailed it.
Well, there won't be any problems if the feast starts at that time. Everything has already been prepared.
Mr. Zubair, I finished tallying things up here. Well, except for the guests.
Is a simple reply really that much to ask of our guests? It's affecting our arrangements.
Oh, it'll be fine. Besides, it never hurts to get things ready in advance.
I was thinking the same thing. The feast will be held sooner or later, right?
Hey, Nilu!
Traveler, Paimon!
We got your letters, so here we are!
You're the best! The other guests haven't even replied yet.
Huh? Are we the only ones that have arrived?
Yeah, I had someone deliver letters to all of our guests. But maybe everyone is still busy with other things.
Look, I get it. Sumeru is in an extremely important period of transition right now, but even if your friends are important figures, they shouldn't just ignore your request like this. Nilu is Sumeru's #1 celebrity after all.
Of course, you're right.
You have no idea how happy I am to talk to people with good taste.
If you consider enjoying Nilu's dances having good taste, then almost everybody has good taste. Because Paimon thinks everybody will love her performance.
That's right. We all think she's amazing too. Nilu is an absolute favorite among those of us who frequent the Grand Bazaar. For Outlanders, you have a great eye. Master Zubair, let's have a vote for the most outstanding audience members next time. I think these two may win.
Nonsense! It is not for us to determine the value of an audience. But indeed, we could try giving gifts to people with particularly good taste. I heard there's a device in Fontaine called a camera that can record people's appearances as pictures. Such pictures would make superb gifts.
Oh yeah, Fontaine is another one of those areas. That's the interesting thing, which one is going to be next. 'Cause I think Fontaine is the land where the water Archon exists. Hydra, which it is, I think.
Ooh, good idea. I wonder where we can find one.
I believe we have one.
I don't want you giving pictures of me to everyone. I'm satisfied just being able to perform here.
There's always a lot going on at the Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, and that's why I love it here. Traveler and Paimon, could you help confirm if the letters were actually delivered? If for some reason they didn't receive the letters, then please tell everyone that there will be a feast here.
Okay, we'll go around and check.
Yeah, we can also check out how everything in Sumeru is going now.
Do you have anywhere everybody is?
When I wrote the letters, I heard that Dia was in Port Ormos, and Alhaitham was at the Academia. As for Sino, we've only heard that he appears at the Academia from time to time.
So I guess we can find them both there.
I'm not too sure about Rahman's whereabouts. My guess is that he's with Dia. As for Dunyarzad, I just hope she's feeling better. I sent her a letter, but I was afraid of disturbing her. If you have time, please ask about her for me.
Okay, got it. Let's go, Traveler.
Okay, I was going to say if we had to go in particular order, and that's going to take us in the order. Dunyarzad makes sense to be the first one. Wait. Faster way of doing this. Oh no, I should go to the Academia first. Never mind. Why's the door open?
We haven't seen Alhaitham anywhere. Let's ask that person over there. Hey there, have you seen Alhaitham around?
Yes, Yes, it seems Scribe Al-Haytham has gone to the House of Dana. You should be able to find him there. But you're already the second group of people I've seen looking for him today. He must be quite the busy man.
Oh? Who else was looking for him?
Mr. Cavey was just here asking about him. You wouldn't believe how terrible their relationship is. And now you two are here. Don't tell me everyone's here looking for gossip about the sages.
No, not at all.
No way! We're strictly here on business.
Ah, I see. Sorry, I thought maybe everyone's as interested in rumors about the sages as I am.
Alright, at least we know where he is. Wait, oh, we're going this way, okay. Wait, is he like the new Grand... Oh, I bet it is. One of those things, probably like the new Grand Sage or something. Is that him over there?
Al-Haytham should be around here somewhere, right? Oh, he's over there! But it looks like he might not have time for us.
He's already talking to someone else.
Just put down that worthless book and tell me what happened in the academia.
This is not just some worthless book. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to find a physical book like this in Sumeru?
It doesn't matter. It's probably just another thing that you used your authority to get your hands on anyway. Just put it aside. Listen, I came back today only to hear that the sages have disappeared.
Oh, you sound surprised. I thought you would already know the inside story.
Would I be here asking you if I knew? You're the scribe, not me. So just tell me what you know already.
Well, I almost became a sage.
Oh, so he was offered the position.
Huh?
Oh, don't sound too surprised now. You're the renowned Kaveh, light of the Kasharawar. Besides, as a master builder and craftsman, chances are you'll be appointed as a sage too.
Why do I feel like you don't really mean it?
Huh. What makes you say that? Why would you question my heartfelt sincerity?
Maybe it's because you've never said anything good about me before.
They're like brothers or something?
Yeah, well, I share a similar sentiment, and anyone who knows you as well as I do would surely do the same.
Oh, you... See? This is why I hate discussing anything with you. Your ridiculous and arrogant attitude always gets in the way.
It seems that you really can't stand my personality.
Ha! What was your first clue?
Well, then you might as well move out of my house.
Okay,
Are you threatening me? Stooping to a new low, I see. Ugh, and don't change the subject. You, a sage? What a joke. The academia might as well just close tomorrow.
Are they having a fight?
let's see how this plays out. We're not in a rush anyway.
Forget what's going on with the academia. Haven't you been busy with your construction project? Tell me, when are you going to build yourself a mansion?
Don't get me started. I get angry just thinking about it.
So, what great building did our master architect work on this time?
Like I need to tell you. Keep your nose out of my business.
No, I think we deserve to know. Where were you when Sumeru needed you most?
I was in the desert for a large project, but considering Haravatat's utter ignorance of architectural and aesthetic matters, you probably wouldn't understand. Which is truly unfortunate. I can only pity the man who doesn't understand the first thing about beauty and romance. Unlike a true... hold on, wait a second. What do you mean by when Sumeru needed me most?
Well, while you were out fiddling around in the desert, many people came together to save Sumeru from a crisis.
Ha! And you think I'd believe that?
Look, All you really need to know is that Azar and all his accomplices have all been overthrown.
Huh? What nonsense are you talking about?
Nonsense.
It's no skin off my nose if you don't believe me. It's not like my Darshan was the one trying to apply for funding from the Grand Sage. Yours, though, on the other hand...
You know what? I'll ask around. I'm sure someone knows what's going on here. You're dead if I find out you're lying to me.
I had a hunch that was his brother.
Hey, Alhaitham!
Oh, it's you two. What's the matter?
We're running some errands.
What's the matter with you?
Have you received her letter?
Letter?
Nilu said she sent out a letter inviting everyone to a celebration feast in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. We'll also be celebrating Zino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra.
If she addressed the letter to Alhaitham of the Academia, then the letter should have gone to my office. I've been busy these days, so I haven't had time to check for any new mail at my office. I only now have some free time to attend to personal matters.
Have you always been so busy with your work?
Of course not. I'm only busy these days because several sages have been dismissed recently and the whole academia was practically turned upside down.
Tainari told us they all went to train in the Avidia Forest. Apparently they will spend the rest of their lives there.
That is already the best possible ending for the likes of them. 4 of the 6 great sages were possessed by their desire for power and attempted to create a new god. In order to pull it off, they even imprisoned the other 2 rational sages. To imagine such things could take place in the academia. I don't know where to begin.
6 sages sound pretty powerful.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. Feels kind of strange to hear them called that after all this time. But then again, the 6 great schools sounded pretty impressive too.
Yes, at least that's how they're supposed to sound. It's said that when the Academia was first founded, the Dendro Archon herself established the 6 great schools, each representing one of the 6 different types of wisdom. Numerous Darshans have sprung up and faded. Only the 6 Darshans attaching themselves to the 6 great schools have stood the test of time and obtained permanent seats in the Academia.
Okay.
Now, the 6 Darshans are nearly synonymous with the 6 great schools, and the leaders selected for the schools are the 6 great sages.
I think I get it.
Among the 6 great sages, there is one central leader, the Grand Sage. Unfortunately, only the sages from Vahumana and Amorta remain now. They were imprisoned for opposing Azar, and were only rescued after Azar's downfall.
So who's managing things in the other 4 schools now? Do they need to find someone new?
Yes. Normally, new sages are selected based on a strict set of criteria.
Oh, didn't you just say something about becoming a sage? If they pick you, then we'd have a huge connection in Sumeru.
Paimon has a point.
Yes, about that. You didn't let me finish my sentence. The person in charge of personnel affairs nominated me to be the Grand Sage in place of Azar and help Lesser Lord Kusanali manage the Academia. But I refused.
I refuse.
Huh? But why? Can't you be a little more ambitious?
I'm not even interested in being one of the 6 great sages. Like I said before, I don't like being a leader.
Oh, all right. So are you busy these days trying to find others to take the job?
That's not my job either. I'm only responsible for handling important affairs within the Academia before the new sages take office.
So you're still a leader now, even if it is just temporarily.
And the first thing I'll do is reject Kasharawar's application for funding.
By the way, who was that other person just now? Is he your friend?
Do we look like friends?
Paimon doesn't know. That's why Paimon's asking.
His name is Kaveh, my roommate.
Oh.
You could say he's the representative for Ksharawar scholars.
Oh, he's just his roommate. Okay. It's just they look kind of similar, so I figured they might be related. Didn't seem to believe a word you told him.
Which is exactly why he always has so many problems.
So everything that's happened recently must be a huge change for the people of Sumeru.
Thanks for your hard work there these days.
Such is the work of the Academia Scribe.
Well, anyway, no matter how busy you are, since you are our planner, remember to attend the celebration feast in 2 days.
Alright, I'll see you there.
Okay, I guess that next would be, almost that would be, yeah, okay, I need to pee again, so I'll be back. I need another drink of water, so I'll be back in a moment. break down and drink of water. Like I said, just as I thought, this feels like this is going to be most. Wait, why am I? Okay, I was tilted up for a second. Right. Thank God I can fast travel even though when I'm in a building. I said this before, but so many open world games don't allow that. Like you're inside, no, can't fast travel. But Genshin's like, nah, you can do it. Even when enemies are around, you can fast travel. And I think after here will be Sino. This is what we're going to see here is Dia.
This is Port Ormos. Now where could...
Why is she...
Is that Paimon I hear?
Oh, and there it's the D.
Huh? Oh, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Dinya's
It's been so long since we've seen you.
Are you good? How about we're good? How about you?
I'm doing well. I can go as far as saying I have never been happier in my entire life.
Ah.
I don't know if you've heard, but Elazar has completely disappeared, and all the patients have recovered.
You kidding? Knowing them and the connections they've got, I'm sure they've heard about it.
Ah, there you are, dear. Didn't expect to see you here.
That's right. My lady is feeling better now, so I'm accompanying her for a walk.
Why do you still call me that, Dia? You've already informed my father of your resignation.
I guess I'm just used to calling you my lady. Old habits die hard.
Indeed they do.
Resignation? You mean you're quitting?
Well, I mean, she don't know who Elazar, so there's no reason for...
Yeah, I might start losing my edge if I keep being a bodyguard for the Homayanis.
You know that my parents and I are fond of you, and that we appreciate you very much. It wouldn't be a problem if you wish to continue to be our bodyguard.
I'm not a woman that's easily persuaded. You should know that by now, my lady.
My lady.
When I took this job, I had already decided that I'd quit as soon as you recovered. It's time for me to get back out there and chase that horizon.
So what are you gonna do now if you're not gonna be a bodyguard anymore?
Go on an adventure?
I want to take a risky job and put my body to the test again.
Oh, really?
Huh? But we literally just finished one of the most dangerous jobs ever. Are you getting bored already?
I know. If I hadn't joined in that plan with you, I wouldn't have come up with this idea. I guess I still get fired up by that feeling of going all out in a fight. It made me realize that I'm still a mercenary through and through. Life is short, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of that operation. But the whole thing also made me realize that there are still many problems in Sumeru, and as a desert dweller, I'm still not completely ready to settle down on this side of the wall.
Well, I remember a friend had someone bring you a message.
You mean I'll hate them? I didn't expect him to still remember that. I thought he was joking.
We just came from talking with Alhaitham at the Academia.
Did he tell you that he suggested that I come work at the Academia?
What?
We didn't hear anything about that.
I heard that Azar and his cronies fell from power, and Alhaitham told me that now was a good time to find a job in the Academia, but only if I wanted to.
Whoa. Paimon can't see you being anything other than a mercenary.
Yeah.
Me neither. But I think Dia would look great dressed up as a scholar.
She's great already.
Ugh, forget about it. I wouldn't last 10 seconds in there. Alhaitham probably just liked the way I worked and knew I'm good in a fight, so he suggested I find some work in the Academia.
But you know, if you take him up on the offer, Sino might actually agree and let you become a Matra.
Ah.
Because you're super amazing.
The Matra have all the talent they need as long as they have Sino. I prefer to be free to live however I choose. In fact, I chose this job from the very start because I knew it'd be right up my alley.
Even if being a mercenary means facing all kinds of danger.
A lion has to return to the wild sooner or later. If anything, being your bodyguard has been unfamiliar territory for me.
I don't want to see you go, but I'll respect your decision.
Aww.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Come on, no need for the sad face. It's not like we'll never meet again.
Guess being free is just a part of our dear
Once the whole Dendro Archon thing is settled, everything in Sumeru will take a turn for the better. That makes me happy too. But a peaceful society will probably mean less demand for mercenaries like me. Before long, we'll be a dying breed. So I'd better get to work while I still can.
Huh? But wait a second. You make it sound like you're leaving now.
Well, no, not yet at least. I promised my lady I'd stick around until next week.
So, have you been in Port Ormos this entire time? We were wondering if you had received a letter from Nilu.
Oh, did Nilu write to us?
She heard that you were seen in Port Ormos, so she sent the letter here.
Huh. It was probably sent to the inn that we're staying at.
Ah.
My lady has been very energetic lately and keeps taking me on hikes, staying out even into the night. By the time we get back, the receptionist is usually off napping on the job.
Right, and we tend to leave quite early in the morning, so the old man on duty is also usually dozing off.
So what it really sounds like is that the person on duty is always asleep.
Not very good way of running an inn if you're always asleep.
I bet the letter's at the reception desk. I'll go check later.
No wonder there wasn't a reply. You never received the letter. Good thing Nilu asked us to come and check on that.
Sorry to make you two come all the way out here.
It must be something important for Nilu to specifically write to us like that.
Yes, she said they were preparing a victory feast in the Grand Bazaar, and will also be
batches
celebrating Sino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra. She was hoping you could come.
Great! I'll be sure to attend.
Count me in too. But is there some sort of dress code or anything for the feast? Can I just show up looking like this?
You look fucking fantastic as you are.
Since it's being organized by Nilu, I don't think she'll be too picky about that. If anything, I think she wants to see us as our most natural selves.
Alright, then this is how I'll show up.
Something that can show up naked. That's my most natural self. Oh, I think I'm losing. I think the lack of sleep is getting to me.
The feast will be held in 2 days, so don't forget.
Sure.
Thank you so much for letting us know. We'll see you there.
Oh, by the way, do you happen to know where Sino and Raman are?
The General Mahamatra always comes and goes without a trace. Normally no one knows his whereabouts.
Oh.
But last time we met, he mentioned that he had something to do in Aru village. You can try your luck there.
Okay.
As for Raman, your guess is as good as mine. I only remember he said that he had something to discuss with Sino. You can ask Sino when you meet him.
Thanks, dear.
Don't mention it. You'd better get going.
Alright, on to our next stop.
Alright, then. Next stop it is then. Oh, it's even like it's even one of those little daily quest things here. But we're not doing that. We're sticking to the main quest. Down. Down in the sand, down in the dirt. Kitty cats too. Scared it. Wait, where did it go? Oh. It can't go, it just vanished. Did it jump off? I hope not. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, there's Sino. Love my myself down.
It's been a while since we last visited Aru Village. Ah, there's Sino!
What brings you here?
We recovered well, and Tanari agreed to let us leave, so now we're out and about again.
It seems Gandharvaville's medical treatment is still as good as ever.
And Tanari is recovering well, too.
That's good to hear.
Thanks for taking us to him.
Yeah, you're the one who brought us to him when we lost consciousness, right? Thanks for that.
He must be very strong, because Paimon and Traveler combined, they must have weighed quite a lot.
You're welcome. Tainari has excellent medical skills, and Kale is quite attentive.
But
oh shit.
why are you just standing here like a dead tree?
Never heard that term before.
I'm meeting some people.
Friends?
Oh, you mean Candace?
I can't help laughing at Candace. Oh.
I've already talked with Candace and the village chief. They're still at the usual place. You can go there if you'd like to see them. But you know one of the people I'm meeting as well.
Oh, by King Deshret's blessing, my friend suddenly appears in the desert. Don't tell me you've run into trouble and need us to help now.
Roman! And... huh? Sataria?
Oh, you know me?
Oh, well, you're pretty famous in the academia.
Don't worry, these are our friends. No need to be so guarded.
I see.
How have you been doing lately?
I'm doing well. Many good things have happened recently.
Like?
Same here. Really, I feel that my whole life has started to shine after suddenly finding a new direction.
Oh, tell us everything.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Alright, well, I suppose I should start by saying I've decided to leave the academia.
What?
Are you not going to be a scholar anymore?
It's not that I've given up on being a scholar. Instead, you could say I've found a new identity. I will no longer pursue research like a typical scholar, but I have not completely given up on my relationship to knowledge either.
I can see what you're saying now.
What do you mean?
I plan to leave the academia and return to teach here in the desert.
Ah.
Wow, so you want to become a teacher?
Sataria will return to support education here and teach people from the desert. She can't teach everyone on her own, but there are many of us Eremites all over Sumeru. She came to discuss a collaboration with me and hoped that I could bring her ideas to the Eremites.
Yes, it's my hope that the Eremites can help me select a group of smart people with the best aptitude for teaching. I'll teach them, and after they've finished learning from me, they can go educate more people.
Ah, teaching the teachers.
That is the true meaning of education and the spreading of knowledge.
The people of King Deshret suffer from sandstorms, exile, and ignorance. Miss Sataria is more than welcome to come teach here. Her arrival is like a star shining in the desert night. The stars have always guided caravans, thieves, soldiers, and travelers who get lost in the night. They lead those in the dark out of trouble and back to safety.
Oh, please. Where's all of this coming from? I'm starting to feel a little embarrassed.
You deserve these compliments. Mercenaries are accustomed to danger and don't fear death, which is why we recognize extraordinary actions that common people would easily overlook.
Sataria's idea will bring much good to many people.
At first, I feared it was destined to fail. Everyone knows that the academia doesn't allow scholars to teach in the desert without permission. As you know, all knowledge is under their surveillance and control, and very few desert dwellers are as lucky as me. But what I heard at that time has been haunting my heart, as if there were lightning bolts constantly bombarding my soul. Sataria, you tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become. Sataria, why haven't you gone home? Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
Miss.
These words sparked something in me, and I knew that I had to bring something back to my people after going home. I gathered up the courage to approach the Grand Sage, only to find that he was no longer at the Academia. Lord Sino told me that Azar didn't belong there anymore.
Azar has received much-needed punishment. Though, if you ask me, it may have been too light. You probably have already heard.
Yeah, we had.
Lord Sino helped me obtain permission to leave the Academia for the desert, and accompanied me here to discuss collaboration with members of the Eremites.
That's right. Hang on. What's that? What are you doing on there? And Cats is right at the back of my computer on the tower. Be careful there.
My plan was able to go smoothly thanks to him and Rahman.
You're all doing so much for the desert.
Aside from that, I also have some other business to discuss with Sino.
Lesser Lord Kusanali has allocated many resources to support and develop the desert. I've done some business for her, and part of it required the assistance of the Eremites. I applied for a few batches of educational materials from the Academia, and sent them to several groups in the desert, as instructed by Lesser Lord Kusanali. I believe the people will make good use of them.
That's exactly what the people here need. Physical books and other related items. If it weren't for Sino and Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'm afraid we'd never be able to get our hands on them.
Apart from this, the Academia is also recruiting scholars that are willing to teach in the desert. I'll let you and Sataria know as soon as I have any more news. We must be persistent about this, and maintain these resources to ensure long-term effectiveness.
This is the first time in hundreds of years we've had a glimmer of hope. I think this may be the turning point for the desert. Remember these words. Here lies our faithful priest, Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration. I hope people with wisdom like that priest will rise again among the desert dwellers. Then we'll once again see the wisdom and glory that once shook the world.
Enough about us. Are you here to discuss some business too?
No, not at all. We're actually here on behalf of Nilu. Nilu wanted to write to everyone, but she wasn't sure where the letters should be sent, so she asked us to come find everyone personally. A celebration feast will be held in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. She hopes that all of you will be able to attend. At the feast, we'll also be celebrating Sino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra.
Should have left that part out because I don't think he's going to come now.
Although, judging from your appearance, it seems you've already been reinstated. Paimon thought you would only start working for the Academia after the feast.
Celebration? Feast?
Oh, so you really didn't know?
It's the first I've heard of it.
Tighnari was right. He really didn't know.
This feast is for you, Sino. Sounds to me like you'll have to be there.
It's rare to see that kind of expression from Lord Sino. You must not like feasts very much.
Please, he doesn't like being the center of attention.
No, not really. But I'll go.
You are invited as well.
Well, I still have a lot to handle here. Besides, I need to look after Miss Sataria in the desert, so I'll have to pass.
I'm afraid I won't be able to join you. Although, if you'd be so kind, please give a message to Miss Nilu for me. The message is, I'm sorry for how I treated you before, but now I understand the beauty of your dance. It's like a light shining in the sky. You and the art you symbolize are not only beautiful, but also lively and powerful. So much so that it was prohibited. Please keep dancing, and someday I'll be able to appreciate your art in person.
Okay, we've got all that down.
Oh, be sure to give the message to.
Our job here is complete as well. Oh, Sino, remember, party's in 2 days. Make sure you're there.
Got it.
Got it. I guess we've got to wait for 2 days. This way then. I might as well grab these as well while I'm at it. I was wondering which one jumped off. Both of them in my room right now. And I had a jump off, but it was the one, not the calico one. What's it right at the back of my cow? What are you doing there, huh? It's warm, isn't it? So I just saw my avatar like bounce off and bounce back up. Oh, hang on. Someone wants to be let out now. Okay, I'm coming. Come on. Huh. What the hell's going on with the avatar? Fine, he's stubborn. He's never done that before. What the heck is going on here? I'm malfunctioning. What the heck? What the heck is going on in here? Usually when I get up, it doesn't do anything like this. Let's try and new position. I think, yeah, that fixed it. There we go.
Today's the big day. Let's go to the Grand Bazaar and see how the celebration.
Well, I can't. Well, okay, never mind. I can't. Her words short. Oh, we know what she's gonna say. See how the celebration for the Grand Bazaar is going on.
Yeah.
I thought the stream just dipped a minute ago. But it looks like everyone's here. How about that?
Everybody's already here. Looks like we're the last ones to arrive.
I'm here.
Oh, try and smile.
Ah, there you are.
Well, look who finally decided to show up.
Kept you waiting, huh?
You look like you came here immediately after finishing up some work. I'm very happy to see you here.
Yes, work. I wasn't just standing in one spot for 2 days doing nothing.
But we're not late, are we? It's just that everyone else arrived ahead of time.
I propose that the last one who arrived be put in charge of today's speeches.
Nah, there won't be any speeches today.
Oh, really? Well, even better.
Come join us over here. Let's share some great food and drinks, and chat about all sorts of fun things.
Everything looks quite good.
Indeed, it does.
Wow, Paimon can't wait. Traveler, just look at all the delicious food here.
Of course, Paimon would think about food. Listen. Eat and drink and time passes greatly in life.
Wow, it's so delicious. Oh, this grilled meat tastes amazing.
The food was specially prepared for you by everyone in the Grand Bazaar. And we have gifts that were sent by the residents of Sumeru City when they heard we were holding a feast.
Ah, that's nice.
Everyone that came said that you saved Sumeru, and wanted me to thank you all on their behalf.
Feels kinda nice to be seen as a hero. I could get used to this.
Being a bodyguard is also a hero's job. You've always been amazing, Dia.
Aww.
My lady sure has a way with words. Thanks. I'm glad to hear it.
And I'm happy to meet everyone that participated in the great plan.
Don't mention it.
Come to think of it, we've really done something impressive together. It's unbelievable.
We owe it to our abilities. And luck.
Very much luck.
Really? Why do I remember everybody thinking that luck was against us and feeling like we hardly had a chance of succeeding?
That's how I remember it too.
It's luck that brought us together, and it was luck that let us form a team. Then, it took even more luck for us to formulate a plan and implement it successfully. Moreover, judging from the results, everything worked out well.
Yeah, everyone gave it their all when it mattered most. It was almost like a performance. We took the stage and put on our best show.
The world is our stage.
Everyone played their part, and thanks to everyone's efforts, the performance was a great success.
So, would you say we're good actors too?
That's one more under.
It's such a blessing that Lesser Lord Kusanali was able to return to power at the Academia.
Yes, even after being abandoned and neglected so many times, she's finally returned.
Return to the Academia.
Uh-huh. Lesser Lord Kusanali once used all her power in a great disaster, which resulted in her losing all her wisdom and memories of the past. The Academia basically abandoned her because of it.
Interesting.
This should be something everybody should remember. Huh? You look surprised.
So everyone
I didn't say anything wrong, did I?
So everyone generally does not remember the great Lucas. Yeah.
No, everything you said is correct.
That's good.
Something wrong?
Yeah, what's with that face? You knew all of this already.
Don't mind me, my mind was somewhere else.
Even if those two giants of the Academia are here, I still have to say it. Those sages really have some nerve. 500 years ago, Lesser Lord Kusanali used all her power for the people of Sumeru, and what did they do in return?
It seems that after everything, everyone forgot Great Luke of Regard. The Smile's history also changed. Now everyone believes that the Lesser Lord has been Sumeru's Archon all along, which is technically true. Maybe I'm the only one in all of Teyvat who will remember that Great Luca Teyvat ever existed. As the witness of all that happens, I shall her choice and respect her choice and keep the secrets of her.
If you bite the hand that feeds you, don't act surprised when it turns into a knuckle sandwich, right, Sino?
Isn't the term when it bites back?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but their treatment of Lesser Lord Kusanali calls for a more severe punishment.
Let me guess, death.
You could simply tell Lesser Lord Kusanali that you wish to have Azar and his accomplices severely punished.
I respect our deity's decision and won't interfere in any way. While we're on this topic, why didn't you accept the Academia's invitation to become the Grand Sage?
Are you trying to say that I'm fit to be a sage?
Not at all. But every person handling the selection process has said that you are the most suitable candidate to lead the Academia right now.
Why? Because he dethroned Azar from power?
Could you try to put it another way? This is a good thing, yet you're making it sound like I overthrew Azar for my own personal gain.
But seriously though, I always wondered if you had some personal motives behind it.
I did have my own motive, but it had nothing to do with being a sage. If the rules of our nation were suddenly cast by the wayside, then it wouldn't be long until chaos ensued. I had no intention of letting their dreams disrupt my life.
By that, you mean your life working as the Academia's scribe.
Precisely.
Wait, is that all?
So, that's the only reason why you joined us and came up with all those plans?
It's reason enough.
You've certainly got quite the personality.
You flatter me.
All right then. How about you? You've already resumed work as the General Mahamatra, right?
That's right.
Will you be happy with that life?
It's not about being happy. There are merely a lot of things that I must do.
Even so, keep your spirits up and try to be happy, okay? And try to smile more every day, just like I'm doing now.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Yes. Oh, okay. Talk to each everyone. I'll start with
There you are, traveler. Well, how is it? Are you enjoying the feast today? If there's anything you're unhappy with, just let me know. I'll be sure to take note of it.
It's great. Thanks for inviting me.
That's good. It's the first time I've ever invited so many exceptional people to one place. I was a little nervous myself. You see, every guest here is quite extraordinary. It's unbelievable that we've got everyone together here. Almost like a fairy tale. Make sure you live it up tonight. I'll be happy as long as you're enjoying yourselves.
We have a message to tell you. Oh yeah, that message. Yeah.
I'm honored to have her think of me this way. If I have a chance in the future, I would really like to invite her to one of my performances. I can't explain why, but I just feel elated right now. Thank you.
Go Sino next.
The atmosphere here is good, and everything is delicious.
It must be rare to see you at such a lively gathering.
Yeah, I don't often come to such places, but it feels quite good.
We're so close that I could butt heads, like literally just go boop. No head tap.
I have a lot to handle these days. Otherwise, I could show you around.
It's alright, don't worry about us.
There's always next time. We're friends after all.
Indeed we are.
This feast is pretty good. I like it.
Okay, now our Helpham.
I seldom participate in such lively gatherings, but the atmosphere here is quite good.
I thought you might find it boring.
No. This gathering today has a unique meaning. The Grand Bazaar is lively because the people here feel happiness from the bottom of their hearts, unlike the farces at the Academia. That happiness is an emotion that'll be forever alien to those bookworms who have driven themselves insane by studying. I seem to have taken both keys when I left the house.
He's locked his roommate out.
Oh well.
And now, Dia.
My lady, the grilled meat over there is delicious. Have you tried it?
Yes, I also tried some fruit just now. Oh, they're very sweet. What an amazing place to relax. No wonder everybody likes to rest at the Grand Bazaar.
You said it. Oh, look who else is here.
Hello. Oh, I'm so happy Nilu invited everybody. Oh, now I have the chance to meet all the heroes.
Oh my god, that's great. Oh, do you want to go now? You're done sitting on my computer. Oh, there it goes again. What the fuck is going on with this thing? It's not done that before. Oh well.
Hey, less of that polite chit-chat and more eating and drinking. The feast is about having fun, not stuffy formalities.
Hey, what's wrong? Your head is starting to droop.
It's feeling sleepy. I'm sorry, feel a little sleepy.
Hey, you can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You'll wake up once you put something yummy in your tummy. Of
Really?
course, just wait here for Paimon.
Sometimes that does work, sometimes that works for me as well. I think that's what's going to happen next. Is it because I didn't sleep well that night that I felt sleepy all of a sudden, or is it because I'm too full? It seems like someone's here. Uh-oh.
It's me.
God damn it! Jump scare. Here it looks like my is because
You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. I was thinking about talking with you, and the next thing I knew, I had made a connection with you. The connection between us is amazing. It's like flora and the fence it grows upon.
is there anything you need from me?
I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand Bazaar. I wanted to have a look for myself, so I snuck in. Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from recent events, so I really haven't had any free time. Although you've already helped me with a lot, there's still one more thing I hope you can help me with.
What is it?
Please say thank you to everyone for me.
Oh, so that's what this is about. Yeah, I bet I'll be better if you could do it yourself.
Oh, is it not convenient for you to do that for me?
Some things in this world must be done by yourself.
But if I just show up all of a sudden, people will become all quiet and stiff, won't they? What if I end up scaring them and ruining this wonderful feast? That'd be the last thing I want.
It'll be fine. Please don't worry too much.
Let me think about it. Okay.
Have you made up your mind?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good. I'll wait.
You said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So... I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't blame me. The flora also climbs up to the fence to get closer to the sky.
Okay, I got possessed by a god. Then, last... this is anything weird, then you're in my body. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I see.
Everyone! Are you awake now? Paimon was just about to bring you the food.
It's me.
Huh? That voice. Nahida?
Hold up. What's going on?
I didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusanali in the Grand Bazaar. Interesting. Is this also a part of the feast?
No, of course not. Are you... Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Hello, Nilu.
You know who I am?
She's a god.
Yes, I already know every one of you. Nilu, Alhaitham, Sino, Dia, Paimon, and Dunyarzad.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I took the liberty of occupying the traveler's body so that I could thank all of you in person. Thank you so much for rescuing me, even if that meant placing your own safety in peril and taking the risk of becoming enemies with the Academia, the sages, the doctor, the balladeer, and even the entirety of Sumeru. Without you, without any of you, I would have been in a much more difficult situation. Had you not helped me to resolve the crisis, not only I, but Sumeru and even the entirety of Teyvat would have suffered great misfortune. People refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this name. It not only explains your identities, but also bears witness to your relationship with me. Please, allow me to present to you my most sincere gratitude.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much for Sumeru, and I didn't even have a chance to do anything for you. You don't have to do this.
Dinyarzad, the suffering you endured during your illness is also proof of you being with me and praying for me. Thank you.
You don't need to be so ceremonious. It's always been my duty to protect you.
He's smiling. This is actually smiling.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be. We just did what was necessary and set things back on the right path.
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. You really don't need to be so polite with us.
I'm honored to have been able to take part in this plan. I hoped you liked the dance I dedicated to you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I guess it's back to... I just... Like I said, everyone is very happy to meet you.
Yeah.
Everyone. Carried into the night. And it ended on a positive note. The next day.
Are you awake? Did you rest well?
I think
After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton.
Still nothing compared to you. Nothing compares to Paimon.
That just means you still have a lot to learn from Master Paimon, the Sage of Gluttony. Alright, since you're awake now, should we go and have a chat with Nahida? She should be in the Academia right about now. If you have any questions, now's your chance to ask.
Oh yeah, about his sister. Let's see what answers we get. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. Also, it'll lead us to the next region. Always the case with these. I thought I had someone scratching at the door. Oh, she's in this place. Well, that makes sense.
Nahida! Hello, Traveler and Paimon. What a fantastic night. I'm still immersed in all the happiness and joy, like a candle floating on water.
So are we, and that's why we're here to talk with you.
Is there anything you want to know?
About the Akasha.
After recent events, the Akasha can no longer function as it used to. I've given it some thought, and have decided to shut it down permanently. But this is definitely not a bad thing. Even from the beginning, I've been planning to shut it down. The Akasha's centralized administration of knowledge has always restrained people's curiosity and curtailed the number of paths available to them. I don't think this is good for Sumeru. Although people may initially feel a little uncomfortable with the loss of the Akasha, they will soon understand that this life is more suitable for them. And as for the future of Sumeru, I'm preparing to regain control of the academia. The former sages have received their punishment, but the new sages have yet to be selected. I will oversee the process personally. I hope that the new 6th grade sages will be more focused on academics. Sumeru needs such leaders more than ever. The other big issue is the people of King Deshret. All the residents of the desert, in fact. They have been mistreated for far too long. I've already taken some measures to address this. It will take some time to rebuild everything, but no matter if it's culture, friendship, or trust, we will rebuild it.
Okay, about what happened after I fell asleep that day.
You mean, what happened after the doctor put you to sleep?
Did he take the Gnosis?
Not exactly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. I was no match for him in that kind of situation. However, in spite of the bad situation, I still managed to make a fair deal with the doctor. I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles. In fact, the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500 years ago. I used this point as leverage against the doctor. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it's just a bluff, he still fell for it. I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and let such extensive damage to its laws take place. And as for what I exchanged for the Gnosis...
So Gnosis, that's how you pronounce it, it's plural, but it's still spelled the same, I think.
The exchange served as both punishment for the doctor, as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the God of Wisdom.
Okay. About the Balladeer.
He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any evil.
Ah.
In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. Some things may be very clear from my perspective, but he has still yet to understand them himself. His future will be determined by fate.
Future will be determined as on his luck. This is what it says. It says in the title on his luck, but she said by his fate. The next one would be about the front.
Is that where you're headed next? Fontaine, the nation of justice?
Okay, so there so Fontaine is next then.
As far as I know, that nation operates in a judicial system.
Does their Archon personally judge people?
No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, won't preside over individual trials. However, even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. It seems that she just likes to immerse herself in that sort of atmosphere. As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict.
Does that mean the next one's going to be like some sort of Ace Attorney thing, where we're going to be the final battle is going to be in a court hearing? We'll have to find that out.
Anyway, let's just say she's got a very unique personality.
Intriguing. Yeah, about the Archon, about the rest of the sleep. Okay, that's everything then. Hope it goes.
Are you sure? Isn't there something else you haven't asked about yet?
Huh? You mean...
About your sister. While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your sister.
But we both came from beyond the stars of Sea of Stars.
Yeah, isn't Irminsul repository for all the information and memories of Teyvat, so there shouldn't be anything on him or his sister.
This is true in your case. Irminsul indeed does not have any information on you. However, there must be something different about your sister, because as it turns out, the world has recorded information on her after all.
What?
There is only one possible explanation. She belongs to this world.
What? How is that possible? We journeyed the sea of stars all our lives until we came here. How could she possibly hail from Teyvat? Things don't add up. There's something wrong with my. Is there something wrong with my memories, or is it this world that has done something to her? Well, we did find out the sky's fake, so.
But nothing about this makes any sense. Wasn't this your first trip to Teyvat?
Do you have any further intel?
According to the records I was able to access, your sibling suddenly appeared in Conria.
Probably several hundred years before we arrived here,
After
right?
the Conria disaster, she began her journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat.
Just like us.
But just as her journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul records on her suddenly become fuzzy.
What do you mean, fuzzy? Did something happen to her?
All I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can know, is deliberately obfuscating her fate. And whoever it is, if they can do that, who knows what else they're capable of.
Could it be the
But even that wouldn't explain how she somehow comes from this world.
Something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified your sibling as one of the Descenders.
Descenders?
What's a Descender? Paimon's never heard of it.
Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui in return for my gnosis, right? A very important part of the intel was about this world's Descenders. External beings, ones that don't belong to this world.
Oh.
Traveler, you are Teyvat's 4th Descender.
Fool. Ooh, now the plot thickens.
Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other Descenders before the Traveler, and his sister isn't even one of them?
That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first Descender was likely what we now call the Heavenly Principles.
Oh, so the Heavenly Principles are not even from this world.
As for the other Descenders, I still need to verify their existence. It could take me some time.
Paimon's head's about to burst from all this crazy new information.
And yet, even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still have a lot of unanswered questions. I must say, I truly regret that I can't help you more as the God of Wisdom. There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to go through each one of them.
Same here, I'll need some time to reflect on what you have said.
And soon, you'll also begin your journey anew and depart from Sumeru. I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that can't be observed or recorded by this world. If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate fate.
Paimon's sure glad we got to meet you, Nahida.
The pleasure is all mine. I can't thank you enough. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever miss me, just close your eyes, and maybe I'll appear in your dreams.
And that's that. That is completed. Ooh. What's that? Imagine being here somewhere. I don't remember the recipe thing. No? Oh, there it is. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. So, yeah, that's generally it. Alrighty. Guess what I'll do is just grab these. And that there. Because my butt's sore. Okay, and that. Okay, and that is interesting. I'm gonna have time to like mull over that myself, but that's interesting, fascinating. That's the first time we actually got proper information. It makes sense that we'll finally get more plot details, because there's supposed to be 7 nations, and now there's, after this one, there's only 3 left. Yeah, this definitely was the longest, because I think if I do the rough maths, I think this one in total, as far as length goes, is probably close to 20 hours. And it might actually be the best one so far. Like, that final boss fight was actually intense and a lot of fun too. I wish I could have more profound thoughts. My brain is very tired. I was surprised it even lasted this long. It's a good thing I did leave it till Saturday, because I figured it was going to be a long one, because it seemed like how everything was going to unfold and stuff. There is a story mission with her, but I think that'll probably be a side thing. And as far as the boss fights for each of these, definitely I'd say the Balladeer is the most coolest one and stuff. Yeah, I but it'll be interesting to see where it goes, because they do like these small story stuff in between the next one, so they usually are yearly. But it's definitely the one that went the longest, because if I remember with Samaria, it was like 2 months apart between. Not Samaria, behind Samaria. In Azuma, it was like 2 months apart between each of them, because this started in August and we're now in November. September, October. About 3 months. That's what I like about Genshin Impact. When you put it in some aspects, these are basically DLC. Free DLC. Long ass campaigns for nothing. After spending money. And also, I was still surprised on Wednesday when we got Nihita, like from off the bat. But I believe the next update should have a Dia. Now, depending if there's any like event story stuff, I probably might do that on stream as well. Because she's definitely, out of all the new characters at least, that is the one I definitely want. Hopefully I'll apply it. If her playstyle is better than I never say it, the Rock and Roll girl, but that would be we'll have to wait and see for that. And as far as Merit, it's definitely the most like equal of having two different like plain lands, like desert and a greeny. But it has the most fantasy looking out of all things. Like the areas that you see in this is like something you would see in most fantasy games, which is really neat. That's what I always like about the new editions. It's always the excitement about, oh, I wonder what this next one's going to look like. I feel like there probably will be another event stuff later this month, because like every year so far since the game's released, they've always seemed to do a winter one centered around Albedo, so there might be one this year, who knows. Then we'll have to wait and see that. That feels like something they would probably do towards the end of November. But as I said, next week, because both God of War and Sonic Frontiers are both out the same week, I'll be doing 2 streams of those, because I said they're both long games and it makes sense to do 2 streams, because usually most games these days, the first hour or 2 of them is introductions to the game and tutorial stuff, and it's not until after that you get into the main stuff, so it makes sense to do 2 streams on them, so we can get right into the game the same week. But there has been sort of a snag, so I pre-ordered them because I play pirate games physically, because it's cheaper for me, and there's a site called base.com.uk. It's a great place to find games cheaper. I've been playing Bayonetta 3 in my own spare time, and the money was taken out for that the day before it was released, and I figured it was going to be the same with these games. Not so much. Both Sonic Frontiers and God of War was this week, but Sonic's one went out before I got paid, and I only had enough money in my account for God of War, and the money still hasn't been taken out. Usually, this is not the first time this has happened to me. This is with other sites I've used. It's gone out sometimes the day before the game's released, or sometimes the week before, and usually when eventually it's sorted out and it's paid, usually it's either I get the day after release or several days after release, and because God of War is on Wednesday when I stream. Now that, luckily enough, the post has been getting a lot earlier, because originally the plan was, because Sonic's on Tuesday, was to do Sonic Tuesday, God of War on Wednesday, then Sonic on Friday, and then God of War on Saturday. But because of this, which I'll have to wait and see until basically on Tuesday. If it comes on Tuesday, then it'll be Sonic, which basically means usually I put the schedule on Monday, but I might have to do it Tuesday for that factor, so that I know for certain what's what. Because thankfully the post lately has become really early, so I should be able to do God of War on Wednesday, because the game should come like hopefully before we have to stream. If not, I would have to probably delay stream until it does. But hopefully everything should go fine. But like I said, I would know most likely by Monday. Hey, who knows? Maybe fingers crossed I might get God of War on Monday, because then the money's already been taken out for it. Because that's actually happened. Apparently, a lot of people have gone, because sometimes stores do that stupidly where they release a game too early and some people get it early. The only time I've ever gotten a game early, and it's because I got the collector's edition of it, was Fallout 76. Now, I know a lot of people like to shun it. When I played it when it came out, I quite enjoyed it. Thought it was okay. It's one of those games I've thought about maybe coming back to. Maybe we might do it on stream sometime when I feel in the mood. And there goes my avatar bending over for some reason. Just sort that out. Which it came like, it was supposed to be released on the Friday, and it came on the Monday, which would be good, but it's an online game, so I couldn't still play it until Friday, until it came out. I've never gotten a game that early other than that, which still could be interesting to see if that happens. But obviously, the best way I'm staying away from spoilers is I've put a shit ton of muted words on Twitter. Like, there's so many times where God of War I had to put several variations to ensure that I won't get spoiled, which is ridiculous, to say the least. But all the same, I appreciate everyone who stopped by. As I said, I'll probably put the schedule on Tuesday instead, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, or even have a good weekend. And I'll see you Friday, hopefully for God of War, or probably Sonic.